Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm so excited that you're here today, and of course, ready for another lesson about life. But today, I'm just going back to my stories, going back to how did I start from living on the street to becoming a good student, and now to becoming a proud father, husband, and the founder of Share Love Rwanda. Because there is one thing that I learned so much that I think many people, many young people who are watching this video might also be confused when it comes to talent. Sometimes you see someone doing something better and you start thinking about the talents they have, and you started thinking about what you're missing in order to become someone else. But I realized that's not the reality. When I got asked this question, it's yesterday, and I made a little video about that already, but I want to go in details because I got asked, how did you discover your talent, and when did you decide to follow your talent? And I want to make it very clear. I was never talented in anything I do. I was never talented in anything I do. I didn't discover my talents because I was not good at all. So this is what happened when I was in high school, when I was just starting. I had lived on the street for about 5 years. So you understand what it means to sleep outside, to eat from the garbage, to always be chased because you are always doing something wrong, because that's the only way to survive. And then it came in time that I was given an opportunity to go to school, to see the other side of life and how good life would become if someone is given the chance. And I was among the people who were given the chance. This opportunity gave me the life, gave me to see what a good life means and how every story can just change. So when I got this opportunity, I decided to devote my life to making sure that I would be the person that would also bridge the opportunity for the children living on the streets, so that they would also see the same side of life that I was seeing, from the street to being a student and to having that chance to dream again, because I was dreaming again. When I was on the street, I didn't have an idea of what my life would become. I would only see the side of life being a struggle. But when I went to school, I saw that life was meaningful. I could think of anything and see the path going there. And I decided to go back to the streets and share the stories and give an opportunity to young people who are struggling on the street, so that they would go back in school and start dreaming again and see the best of life. When I did that, I realized that it required me to work so hard. Becoming a good student was not enough, but knowing something that I had to do with it afterwards was enough that I became unstoppable when it came to learning, when it came to reading, when it came to asking questions. I became unstoppable in the classroom because I knew if I could be a good student, I would go back to the streets with a new version of myself who would be ready to support the rest of the children who were staying there. So that gave me a push. And that's when I started becoming a talented person. I would be reading a lot of books, and people started thinking that I was talented with reading. I would write a lot in my journals, and people started thinking that I was talented in writing. But I want to tell you the truth. I was not talented because it required me so much effort. in order to become a good reader. It required me so much effort in order to become a good writer in my classroom. If I was talented, I would get it easily, but I was not. But I loved it so much that I had to work extra miles. I remember waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, and even sleeping at what time? 11 p.m. and wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. Those of you who are my high school classmates, you know it better. Those whom we went to college together, you know it better. So I was not talented. I was just a hard worker that I made it happen. And I started confusing people. People started thinking I was very talented. But back in my head, I knew exactly I was not, but I had to make it happen because that was the only way of life. So, what are you ready for? If you have something you love so much, you are willing to pay any cost in order to get it. That's what I need to ask you. Are you ready to give the cost that it takes in order for you to become the new version of yourself, the version that you wish to see yourself becoming? Are you ready? If you're ready, you're going to be unstoppable. I will give you example of some of the things that I had to pay in order to become the person that I have become. A proud father, a husband, the founder of Share Love Rwanda, the person that can go back to the streets and help my fellow street children. Some of the costs, are you ready? Number one, I was ready to sacrifice some of the things that some people enjoy. If you are a student, number one thing that you always wish to have is to have enough time to sleep. I was ready to not sleep at all as long as I would be following something great. I would be reading an article, I would be reading a book, and I feel like even if I didn't even get it well, like that's the issue. Even if I would not be getting it well, I would still read enough. Enough was not enough to me. Enough would be times 2 of what everyone else is doing, and I would do it. Are you willing to sacrifice that time? That good time when everyone is just wrapped in their blanket and you still want to sneak out and go to read. Are you ready for that? I was doing that because I was a student. But I still wake up at 2 a.m. If for some reason it's because I love my work, I have to do it. I would give you an example. On a monthly basis, there is a day that I have to wake up at 1 because I have a board meeting that takes place around 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. every month. Are you willing to give in that kind of sacrifice? You might need to wake up very early because maybe you're learning how to do something that is related to the work that you love to do. Are you willing to give that time? If you're ready, then you can make it happen. There is another cost that I had to pay, which is very hard for some people. On your journey of success, on your way forward, are you willing to take the shame, the blame that comes with it? I would say that this goes back to when I was a student, but I still see it. I still face it more often as well. Sometimes you make a great decision, which is just your loved decision, and you know how it is very impactful to your life or to the life of the people that you serve. But some people around you, they want to call you crazy because they don't think that is something a normal person can do. But for you, because you're very devoted and you've been understand it better, you're ready for that. When I was a student, I remember sitting in a class and my language was very broken. If you guys went to my high school, of course you know, I didn't start right away with getting something. I was a very bad and confused student in the beginning. And my English was very bad. That the moment I would raise my hand, some young people would start cracking some big laugh because they knew whatever I would be saying would be full of mistakes. But I still knew I had to push it forward. That was not my best. That was not the best that the students expected. But that was the best that I had to give. In order for you to become good at what you're doing, you need to do the right that you can and you improve from there. So I remember knowing that my answer is not the best compared to what everyone else is going to give, but I still give it so that the teacher can give me the feedback. Are you willing to do it even if you do it wrong? Because that's when you know what you are doing, and that's when you know the right support that you need. Some people want to do something because they are perfect at it. But how long is it going to take for you to become perfect for something that you're doing? I bet if I wanted to be perfect in my classroom, I would spend years without saying anything. And again, the more I would wait, then the worse it would become because time would be going. So if you really love something and you want to make it your talent, do it anyways. Whether people like it or they don't, that's not their best. It is your best. Sometimes you have to push it and let them know, like, that's the way, that's what you do, that's the way of life. Those people who keep laughing at you, sometimes they're afraid to say anything because they can be laughed at more than what they're doing to you. So just know that the moment you want to do something, don't just wait for someone to say you're good. Show them what you can. If they like it, they will go ahead and just love it. But don't ever just wait until you're perfect, because there will never be a perfect time. After 2 years in my high school, I was among the best students. Not because I started good, not because I was talented, because I pushed for something I loved the most to happen in my life. I wanted to become that great example that someone can be on the street. After 2 years, 3 years, they can be good students. I always hold that belief in the students that I support. Whenever I'm seeing them, I'm like, 2 years to come, you're going to be a new version of yourself. I look at them 3 years to come, 5 years to come. Nobody will actually think that you've been on the streets. And that's what I wanted to do. So I had to push so hard, even if people would be laughing at me. Sometimes they think you are too proud, but for you, you think you're just expressing yourself. You're looking for the feedback to be supported. That's what happens. If you don't do what you can do, no one knows what you cannot do. They either think you know everything or they think you don't know anything. Where do you need to stand? That's up to you. So let's talk about another cost that I had to pay in order to become the person that I am today. The other one is to push so hard. Are you willing to do something you don't like? Are you willing to do something you don't like as long as it has a meaning to your life? I would give you another example back in my high school still, because that's when my life unfolded. I always tell people, like, I like to go back in my high school life because that's when I started seeing the light to my vision. That's when I started seeing the light to my vision. Sometimes, you have a vision, but you don't see the end of it. You don't see it very clear because you are not very close to it. That time I was in high school. So I knew the vision, I knew where I was heading, but I could not see it very clear. So I had to remain in that confusion time. But I knew, like, the right steps are this. Becoming a good student is leading to what I want to do in my future. But during that time, sometimes you push it so hard that you don't even know how far you can go. But that's the reality. I remember sitting in a class and having a book to read, and yet I don't even get the full meaning of what is written in the book. I remember we were asked to make book reports, like write a summary of the book. I would struggle so hard to get the meaning of what the book is talking about. Can you imagine reading 200-page storybook and you don't get the idea of what the book is talking about? And when you finish that one book, you're ready to take another one. You read and maybe you get 10% of what the book is talking about. The next time, 15% of what the book is talking about. That's the hardest thing I have ever done. To read a book of a story that I don't understand. But I still push it forward. I remember my headmistress had taken me in the library, showed me the baby book story section, and that's where I had to start. Can you imagine how it would look like for someone 19 years old, 20 years old, reading a 3 years book, reading a 5 years old book, just the book that has a big picture and one word on a page. And that was my reading level, even though I was 19 years old, even though I was 20 years old. That's the hard part of life. But that's what I want you to understand. That's what you need in order to make your life possible. In order to reach to the vision that you have to reach to. Are you willing to pay whatever cost it takes? I confuse people now because I can read better, I can write better, and I can understand better. Now they think, oh, I'm talented because I love reading. No. I just loved the benefits of reading that I had to make it look like it was my talent. And yet it was not. So are you willing to do all those kind of things? Depending on the vision that you want to attract in your life, you are required to pay a lot of costs. But if that is for something you love the most, you're going to make it happen. You're going to reach at it and you're going to be like, wow, this is what I wanted. And then you make it happen. Are you ready for that? I was ready for something like that 2009 and I made it happen. And I know you can make it happen. Let me talk about another cost. Are you willing to lose some of your friends and some of your siblings if that is what it needs in order for you to attract something that you love the most. I would give you another example. When I decided to focus on my school, on my academic journey, I lost some friends because I used to take some drugs, some marijuana. And what happened is, most of everyone that we were sharing it with was supposed to be my great friend. And they were. My greatest friends were the guys that we started smoking together. But some of them didn't choose to go to the journey of becoming good. They stayed, and that's not something I always wish to remember, because I lost my friends. But they were not willing to take the journey that I was taking. I had to leave them behind and focus on my studies. I stopped drugs, not because someone told me, but because I knew they were not going to help me get to the vision that I wanted to get to. I was not a friend to many guys anymore, but I was attracting something that I loved the most, and it was working. Sometimes your friends are the ones that are bringing you down. They take you down because there's nothing in between. Your friends either help you to win, or they help you to lose, or they make you fall down. So you always need to choose between those that are helping you to win or those that are taking you down. If you want to win, of course, I know the right answer. You're choosing those who are taking you to the winning position. If you think that your bad friends are more better than the vision that you want in your life, then you go with them and you live your vision. Some people don't live, they just exist, because existing is normal and it's automatic. As long as you're on this world, you just exist. But living the life that you want is by choice. You choose to. You choose to. That's when you make a choice on friends that you work together. If your friends are confused and they don't want to change them. Just leave them. Have the friends that know where they are heading. You can lift each other and move forward. Do your best to help your friends see the reality of life and give them a choice. If they want to be confused and stay where they are, keep taking drugs, leave them. But if someone is willing to come along the journey, help them. If they cannot be the people that you can help, leave them. Because that's not your problem. You've done your best. But my dear friend, from now and onwards, if you see that some people are not willing to go with you, rather they just want to take you down, I think it's your time now to just move forward, leave them, focus on your big vision, pay that. In the beginning, it might be not easy to leave your friends behind. But I'm telling you, it is taking your life to another version. And that's where you need to be. I would not be here. I would not be telling this story. I would not be sharing these insights if I decided to remain with my friends, because they are not telling the same story. Their life got more confused because they failed to make the decision. So you should be in a position to make the decision that uplifts you, that changes your life to another version. And the next time people see you, they think, oh, that guy is talented. So for him, it came it easy. It was just a perfect, just like a snap of the hand, and then everything comes in. No, it's only because you were willing to pay the price of what it takes to become a new version of yourself. So, my dear friend, this has been so good. If you have ever watched my other videos and you land on this, I know you find this very useful. And if yes, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. I'm ready for another video. I wish you the best. Discover your talents now. Just work hard for something you love and make it your talent. Let's go.